You are not my husband. So stop acting like it, she laughed into the microphone in front of my family, friends, even my boss. She humiliated me publicly, while the room fell silent. I just stared at her. What I saw on her laptop changed everything. Ryan, you are not my husband yet, so stop acting like it. Once we are married, then you get a say in my life. My fiancée Madison said this into a microphone. In front of 47 people, including my grandmother. My hands are still shaking as I type this. I cannot believe I am about to tell complete strangers what just happened. But I need anyone to tell me I am not losing my mind here. But here is the thing. That is not even the worst part. The worst part is what I found on her laptop afterward, and why our wedding venue is now being used for my buddy Derek's surprise 30th birthday party instead. I am Ryan, 32, and I work as a senior software engineer for a tech startup in Austin. Madison was my fiancée. She is 29, works in pharmaceutical sales, and has this way of making you feel like you are the only person in the room when she talks to you. We had been together for 3 years, engaged for 8 months, and our wedding was supposed to be tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. The rehearsal dinner was last night at this upscale steakhouse downtown. Madison's dad had insisted on paying for everything: the dinner, the wedding, the honeymoon, to Santorini. He has got that kind of money where he doesn't even check prices. Just slides his black card across the table like he is paying for coffee. I should have known something was off when Madison kept calling it her wedding instead of our wedding, but love makes you stupid, right? Everything started normally enough. People were mingling, the wine was flowing, and Madison was in her element, gorgeous in this white cocktail dress, working the room like she was born for it. Her 3 best friends were there. I call them the Trinity because they are always together and they judge everyone like they are God himself. Ashley the lawyer, Sophia the real estate agent, and Kendall the influencer, with 12K followers who acts like she is Kylie Jenner. About an hour in, Madison had had a few drinks, and grabbed the microphone from the MC for what I thought would be a sweet toast. She started off fine, thanking everyone for coming, gushing about the wedding tomorrow. The usual stuff. Then her cousin Brad asked when we were planning to have kids. I started to answer we had talked about waiting 2 years, but Madison cut me off with this laugh. Not her normal laugh, but this sharp, dismissive sound I had never heard before. Ryan doesn't get to make those decisions, she said, still holding the microphone. He seems confused about his role here. The room went quiet. That awful, thick silence, where everyone's trying to pretend they didn't just hear what they heard. I forced a laugh, thinking she was making some weird joke. Babe, what, like yesterday, she continued, now looking directly at me with this strange smile. He actually asked me where I was going when I said I had plans after the wedding. Can you believe that? He wanted to know where I am going on my time. The Trinity started giggling. Actually giggling. My mom's face was turning red. My dad was gripping his whiskey glass so tight, I thought it might shatter. But Madison wasn't done. So let me be super clear, since apparently some people need it spelled out. She turned to face me fully, the microphone still at her lips. Ryan, you are not my husband yet, so stop acting like it. Once we are married, then you get a say in my life. Maybe, if I feel like it. Someone gasped. I think it was my grandmother. Until tomorrow, you are just my boyfriend who lives in my apartment. It is my condo, I said, quietly. My name's on the deed, she rolled her eyes. Whatever. The point is, know your place, know your place. In front of 47 people, our families, our friends, my boss, she told me to know my place. The Trinity burst into full laughter. Ashley actually clapped. My best man, Derek, stood up like he was about to say something. But I shook my head. I needed to process what was happening. Madison handed the microphone back to the MC and sat down like she hadn't just humiliated me in front of everyone I care about. She picked up her fork and started eating her salmon, chatting with Sophia about their spray tans for tomorrow. I sat there for maybe 30 seconds that felt like 30 years. Then I stood up, straightened my tie, and walked out. I didn't run. I didn't storm. I just left. The last thing I heard was Madison calling after me. Ryan, you are being dramatic. Ryan, but I was already gone, and that is when everything really started to fall apart. Number update 1, posted 6 hours later. I wasn't going to update this quickly, but I cannot sleep. And honestly, writing this out is the only thing keeping me sane right now. Also, to answer the hundreds of comments, yes, the wedding is off. But wait until you hear what I found. After I left the rehearsal dinner, I drove around Austin for an hour trying to clear my head. My phone was blowing up texts from Derek, my mom, Madison's mom, even the Trinity. I ignored them all. I ended up at this 24-hour diner where I used to study in college, ordered black coffee, and just sat there trying to understand what had just happened. Here is what you need to know about our relationship. I thought we were solid. We had been living together for 18 months in my condo. Yes, my condo, I bought it before we met. We had joint checking for bills, 2 cats named Pixel and Bite, a shared Netflix password. Normal couple stuff. Sure, Madison could be a little high maintenance. But I loved her. I thought she loved me. My phone rang. It was Derek. Dude, where are you? Donna's Diner on 5th. Don't move. 20 minutes later, Derek walked in with my brother Marcus. They looked like they had seen a ghost. We need to show you something, Marcus said, pulling out his phone. It was a video from the rehearsal dinner right after I had left. Madison was doing damage control, telling everyone I was stressed about work and that I would be fine tomorrow. But in the background, you could hear the Trinity talking. Marcus had been standing right behind them. Ashley said, "I cannot believe he just walked out like that." Sophia said, "Madison's really got him trained." Kendall said, "Wait until he finds out about Miami." Ashley said, "Shh. Miami. What about Miami?" "There is more," Derek said. "After you left, Madison had too much wine. She started talking about her backup plan, if you ever got out of line." "What backup plan?" Derek looked uncomfortable. "She said she has been moving money from your joint account to a separate one, small amounts so you wouldn't notice. She called it her independence fund." I felt sick. I pulled out my phone and checked our joint account right there. We had been saving for the honeymoon. For a house, there should have been about $32,000 in there. There was $8,400. "That is not even the worst part," Marcus said quietly. "Ryan. She has been talking to Tyler. Tyler, her ex, the investment banker who cheated on her 2 years before we met. The one she said she would never forgive. The one who had been texting her recently but she said was just trying to mess with her head." "Talking how?" Marcus showed me another video. Madison, wine glass in hand, laughing with the Trinity. Tyler's flying to Miami next week for a conference. Said he got a suite at the Four Seasons. I mean, it would be rude not to visit, right? Ryan will think I am at that pharma convention. The pharma convention, the one she was leaving for 3 days after we got back from our honeymoon. The one I had helped her register for. I stood up so fast I knocked over my coffee. The mug shattered on the floor. Ryan, Derek started. "I need to get to the apartment. It is 2 a.m. I need to get my stuff." But when I got home, Madison's car was in the parking garage. The lights were off. She was asleep. I went to the guest room where I keep my gaming setup and opened my laptop. I know her passwords. She uses the same 3 for everything. I am not proud of what I did next, but I needed to know. Her email confirmed everything. Flights to Miami booked 2 weeks ago. Hotel confirmation at the Four Seasons, different hotel than the conference. Text screenshots she would sent to Ashley about keeping her options open and how Ryan's too nice to ever leave, and if he does, I will take him for everything in the divorce. We are not even married yet, and she was planning the divorce. But the email that broke me, the one from 3 months ago to the Trinity. "Group chat girls, I figured it out. Marry Ryan. He is stable. Plus that startup equity could be worth millions. Keep Tyler on the side. He is exciting. And if Ryan ever finds out, I will play the victim. His family loves me. They will take my side. It is perfect." I screenshotted everything. Then I saw a folder labeled wedding planning. I opened it expecting vendor contracts. Instead, I found her marriage strategy document. I am not kidding. She had an actual 12-page document outlining. The first thing is how to maximize financial benefit from marrying me then. Ways to maintain independence while appearing committed next. exit strategies for different scenarios, and a timeline for when to accidentally get pregnant to lock in child support. Page 7, bullet point 3. Ryan's 2 conflict, averse to ever call off wedding. Use this to push boundaries. Public humiliation works best. He will not make a scene. She was right about one thing. I hate conflict, but she was wrong about something else. I would absolutely call off this wedding. Update 2. Okay, so I may have gone a little scorched earth. But after reading your comments, and holy shit, thank you for the support, I realized I couldn't just cancel the wedding quietly. Madison wanted to humiliate me publicly. Fine. 2 can play that game. First things first, logistics. It was now 3 a.m., 8 hours before I was supposed to be getting ready for my wedding. The venue was paid for. The catering was done. 200 guests were expecting a show. They were going to get one, just not the show they expected. I didn't sleep. Instead, I made phone calls. First, Derek. Remember how you wanted to throw a surprise 30th birthday party, but couldn't find a venue? Ryan, it is 3 am. I have 200-person venue, full catering, and open bar tomorrow. You in? Hell yes. Second, my cousin James, who is a family law attorney. I need you to document everything I am about to send you. Is this about Madison? Marcus told me what happened. Check your email. 5 minutes later. Holy shit, Ryan. This is fraud. She has been stealing from you. Third, the wedding photographer. Mike, who would become a good friend, hypothetically. If I wanted to play a slideshow instead of walking down the aisle, I can make that happen. What kind of slideshow? The kind that changes everything. By 6 a.m., I had a plan. By 7 a.m., Madison was awake, acting like nothing had happened. She actually kissed me good morning and said, "Big day, baby. I cannot wait to be Mrs. Coleman." I smiled. Me neither. Hey, you should get your hair done with the girls. I will meet you at the venue. She looked suspicious for a second, then shrugged. Don't be late. And wear the blue tie, not the gray one. Of course, sweetheart. She left with the Trinity at 8 a.m. The second her car turned the corner, I started packing. Not just my stuff. Only my stuff. I was surgical about it. My clothes, my electronics, my grandmother's ring. Thank God I hadn't given it to her yet. My documents, my coffee maker, petty. But it is a $300 machine and I bought it. At 9 a.m., I called a same-day moving service. They boxed Madison's belongings and delivered them to Storage Unit 47B at Austin Self-Storage while I handled venue setup. I paid for 1 month, a generous, non-marital gesture, I thought. I left everything she had bought, but I took everything I had bought, which turned out to be, basically, everything. The furniture, mine. The television, mine. The kitchen appliances, all mine. The condo looked like it had been robbed by the world's most specific thief. The cats went to my brother's place. Temporarily, they deserved better than this drama. Then, I changed the locks. My condo, my rules. By noon, I was at the venue with Derek, Marcus, and Mike. The wedding coordinator, Jennifer, was surprisingly accommodating when I explained we needed to convert to a private event. Apparently, wedding cancellations aren't uncommon, and the deposit covered the change. So, you want to change the ceremony structure? Slightly. Instead of vows, I will be giving a presentation. A presentation. Think of it as a TED Talk about modern relationships. She looked concerned, but the check had cleared. So she shrugged. It is your wedding. Mike set up the projection screen. Derek started texting everyone he knew about the surprise party afterward. Marcus handled redirecting the flowers to his wife. Their anniversary was next week. The hardest part wasn't the logistics, it was the waiting. Sitting there, knowing what was coming, watching guests arrive. Madison's family took up the left side. Mine on the right. Everyone was confused but trying to be supportive. Madison's dad pulled me aside at 2:30 p.m. "Son, Madison told me you had a panic attack last night. Are you feeling better?" I almost felt bad for him. Almost. "I am feeling very clear-headed. Actually, good. Good. She is my only daughter, you know. I just want her to be happy, sir. After today, you are going to know exactly what makes your daughter happy." He looked confused but patted my shoulder and went to his seat. At 3 p.m., the music started. The Trinity walked down the aisle first, smirking like they knew something everyone else didn't. They had no idea what was actually coming. Then the music changed to the wedding march. But instead of Madison, the lights dimmed and the projection screen came down. I stood at the altar with the microphone, my hands surprisingly steady. "Ladies and gentlemen," I said, "thank you for coming. There has been a slight change of plans." Final update. The projection screen lit up with the title, "A Brief Presentation on Trust, Respect, and Why This Wedding Isn't Happening." The crowd gasped. Madison's mom stood up. "What is the meaning of this? Please, everyone, have a seat. This will only take 10 minutes. And then Derek's surprise birthday party starts. Open bar." Slide 1 showed a photo of Madison and me from our first date. We looked happy. 3 years ago, I met Madison. I thought I had found my person. Slide 2 showed the screenshot of her marriage strategy document. 3 months ago, she created this document, outlining how to extract maximum financial benefit from marrying me while maintaining a relationship with her ex. The crowd erupted. Madison's father went pale. Slide 3 showed bank statements showing the missing $23,600. Over the past year, Madison has been slowly draining our joint savings into a private account. This is theft. Slide 4 showed the Miami flight confirmation and hotel reservation. Next week, while I thought she would be at a pharmaceutical conference, she was planning to meet her ex-boyfriend Tyler at the Four Seasons Miami. Someone in the back yelled, "Where is Madison?" Perfect timing. The doors burst open. Madison stood there in her wedding dress, the Trinity behind her, all of them staring at the screen in horror. "Ryan," she screamed, "what are you doing?" "Hey, sweetheart," I said calmly into the mic, "so glad you could make it." We are on slide 4 of 12. She started charging down the aisle, but Derek and Marcus stepped in front of the stage. Slide 5 showed the video from last night, her telling me to know my place in front of everyone. Last night, Madison told me I don't get a say in her life. She was right. I don't want a say in her life. I want her life completely separate from mine. Slide 6 showed text message screenshots with Tyler explicit photos, blurred for everyone's dignity. But the timestamps and context made everything clear. Madison's face went from red to white. "You hacked my phone. You used the same password for everything." Sweetheart, Trinity Bob, or Arsha Sen, isn't exactly Fort Knox. Ashley stood up. "This is illegal. You cannot do this." My cousin James stood up. "Actually, as legal counsel for Mr. Coleman, I can confirm that documenting fraud is perfectly legal. Madison, you will be hearing from me about the stolen funds." Slide 7 showed an email from Madison to the Trinity titled Backup Plan Number 3, outlining how she would claim I was abusive if I ever tried to leave. The room was dead silent now, except for some crying from Madison's mom. Slide 8 showed photos of my empty condo from this morning. As of today, Madison no longer lives with me. Her belongings are in Storage Unit 47B at Austin Self-Storage, paid for through the end of the month. Madison collapsed into a pew, sobbing. Slide 9 showed a photo of Tyler's wedding announcement from 6 months ago. Oh, and Madison. Tyler got married in February. His wife is pregnant. He's been playing you the entire time. That got real tears. Slide 10 showed a simple bullet point list. Wedding was canceled. Relationship was over. Apartment is mine. My dignity was intact. Slide 11 showed a photo of Derek looking confused. Now, let's celebrate my best friend's 30th birthday. He had no idea this was happening. So, surprise. Delaware Rec. The DJ started playing Celebration by Kool and the Gang. Half the room erupted in uncomfortable laughter. The other half sat in stunned silence. Madison was full, on ugly crying now while the Trinity tried to console her. Her father approached me, his face unreadable. For a moment, I thought he might hit me. Instead, he extended his hand. "I apologize for my daughter. Send me the documentation about the stolen money. This ends today. We shook hands. He left, but not before stopping at Madison's pew and saying something that made her cry harder. The party afterward was surreal. My side of the guest list stayed. Derek's friends showed up, and we had the world's strangest, but most cathartic birthday party. The wedding cake was repurposed with Happy 30th Derek hastily piped on top. Madison tried to approach me once. "Ryan, please. We can work this out, Madison. You told me to know my place. I finally do. It is anywhere you are not." She left with the Trinity, mascara running, dress dragging on the ground. I am sitting in my condo typing this final update. The walls have my art again. My gaming setup is in the living room. Pixel and Byte are back home, acting like nothing happened. I adopted a golden retriever named Chewy, who doesn't steal my money or plan trips to Miami with his ex. Madison moved back with her parents in Houston. The Trinity scattered. Tyler blocked her after his wife found out about Miami. Her father made her pay back every cent she stole, plus interest. Derek still cannot believe his surprise party came with a free wedding reception. He is getting married next year and asked me to be his best man. He promised his fiancée isn't secretly planning to rob him. I learned something important. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Madison told me exactly what she thought of me and our relationship. She just didn't expect me to listen. Sometimes the best relationships are the ones that end before they really begin. Madison wanted me to know my place. Turns out, my place is pretty awesome. It is peaceful, it is mine, and it doesn't include anyone who thinks I don't deserve basic respect. To everyone who commented and supported me, thank you. You helped me realize I wasn't crazy, I wasn't overreacting, and I definitely wasn't wrong to walk away. Actually, I didn't just walk away, I ran, and it was the best decision I ever made. Edit Derek calls it the best worst most confusing day of his life. Edit 2. Madison tried to start a GoFundMe claiming I financially abused her. It raised $47. All from her mom.